Quite an unpleasant day, a couple of breakages, one of which is pretty significant. In this episode we make our way from mainland Greece through the islands east towards Turkey. We have some great anchorages, a few wonderful days sailing. Unfortunately we do experience our first breakages, but we still managed to check out of Greece in the pretty town of Kos. It's been a mixed bag for us on my first day back since going to Australia. We have struggled with the wind a little bit today. It's been really variable, but we did do some lovely sailing. I've been for a great swim. There's actually heaps of fish around, saw what I think's a barracuda. And we are anchored at the base of the Temple of Poseidon, which you can see behind me up there on the hill. Looks amazing, absolutely stunning. There's a load of people up there watching the sunset. Probably wasn't the best sunset. We're hoping that the temple itself gets lit up this evening, and this could be a really beautiful place to spend the night. I've done this once before, going up the main mast on my harness, a few safety lines and things, and the plan is to start the engine just to make sure the winch has lots of power and hoist me up on the electric winch, which just puts more twists in the halyard, which of course is why I'm going up in the first place, is to try and untwist it, but if I can, we're not sure. Yep. If my hand's a little shaky, it's because I'm up the mast. Just made that little bowl in there. Can you think of a more beautiful place than here? Just doing some foot wag.
It's got caught in one of the reefs. Alright, so it tells the wind.
Ready?
Yep, it's got no weight. A little bit more. We heard the whizzing sound. We think there's a fish. Oh, not anymore, there's no fish. There was definitely a whizzing sound, and so at least we got a bite, we think.
Jesus, no, God knows how we get at this speed. I don't think I'd be able to pull it in at this speed. We'd have to come around.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get a fish, but at least we know the lure works, so something was interested in it. That ferry is huge. It's got a massive wake, and this is going to hurt.
Day's going really well. We are motoring at, well, no we're not, we're sailing at up to 8.5 knots today with one reef in and about 75% of our genoa out. Pretty bumpy with a beam sea. Lots to look at. We saw some dolphins earlier. It's great fun. Shipping golfers,
I reckon. We only have about 12 miles to go to our destination, and that'll be a 70-mile sailing day, so really happy with how it's gone. We found a nice little anchorage. It is quite rocky around here, so we are a little bit nervous, but we're getting better at anchoring, so hopefully we're in the right spot. There's a few other boats around here. The sunset looks lovely, and while there's a little bit of breeze, the sea is totally dead calm in here, which is beautiful. So a very, very good night's sleep ahead, I'm sure. Yep, there's water. It's a windy day this morning. This is our third day transiting across to Turkey. The forecast though is very similar to yesterday, so we're going to head out and give it a go. If it is too rough and too windy, we'll just duck into one of the islands. I realised last night looking at a map that we are actually at the island about a mile west of Mykonos, so next to one of the most famous islands in Greece, and we didn't even realise. That's us.
Good morning, sweetie. Yeah, Mykonos is not what I was expecting. I kind of thought there'd be more houses and things.
But it does expect the day trippers. When we got here last night, there was a couple of catamarans full of people that were swimming at about 7:38 at night, and then at about 8:30 they all left. So I'm guessing we've all gone back to Mykonos today. Let's see how we go.
Yes.
Lots of wind, hopefully lots of miles today.
Good experience for the future Atlantic crossings.
Our plan, head as far as we can towards Kos, which is the place that we have to check out of Greece before we enter Turkey. Let's see what the Aegean Sea has in store for us today. We've had a look at the map and there's plenty of outs. There's plenty of shorter trips we can take and plenty of places we can tuck ourselves in if the wind's not great, and if it's really not great we can always come back here. We put the mainsail up. One slight problem. We managed to break one of the lazy jacks, so we're just figuring out now the best way to tie it up again. Repairs complete. It turns out we didn't break anything, just one of the knots came undone. Thank God.
What you say though? Good thinking on our part.
Yeah. Keep going. Both the sails are out, engines are off. We're making good about 7 knots with about 13 knots of true wind speed. Just going outside for a sec. It is beautiful this morning. We're making good about 8.5 knots with not that much wind. It's only like 13 knots maybe of true wind. And so far the sea hasn't built, so it's relatively comfortable. However, Al has decided to ignore sailing for a few hours. He has bigger priorities. What are you doing, Alistair?
I'm watching the football. St Kilda, Melbourne. I like having the internet. Watch out, fair use policy, sweetie.
What's that?
Fair use policy. We're looking good too.
My team lost, let's hope his team did better. To be honest, it's a bit of a yuck day. There's like at least 1.5 meters of swell, so it's coming through and rocking us around. And we have had our first breakage, and we caused this one. We had one reef in the sail, and I think we had the reefing point too low, so it's chafed a little bit. So we're going to have to replace that line. Luckily, it's the first reef, and it's the smallest amount of line. Got a bit more winds and a bit more speed, but it's pretty rough. We've got the swell right on the beam. It's pretty uncomfortable, but we're getting there. It is freezing though. I've got a hoodie, I've got long socks on, I've got sailing gloves on because I can't find any other gloves. It's proper cold. Hurry up, summer. Well, unfortunately, our day has got a lot worse. We have managed to somehow snap the main halyard. The main has come down. We are now motoring into the anchorage. And then once we get in there, we'll have a bit of an investigation and see what is going on. And right up the top is where you can see the 3 or 4 inches of the line where it broke. This is a proper Jurassic Park looking island coming up. The island's called Nissos Patmos. I'm not sure if it's a place that people visit, it just for us happens to be a convenient and safe anchorage.
Hey, sweetie. Well, it won't be our worst day at sea, probably, but certainly not our best so far. Quite an unpleasant day. A couple of breakages, one of which is pretty significant. We're just coming in now to a bay on the southern end of Nissos Patmos Island. Really beautiful.
I think we have found one nice, well-protected little anchorage for us to tuck into after a crazy day. I'd love to come back to this place. I've been reading all about the history and it sounds like there is heaps of things to explore. We're leaving Patmos this morning, continuing our trek to Turkey. The mission today is to get us all the way to Kos in Greece. It's about 55 miles and it's a place we have to check out. With the mainsail halyard snapping yesterday, we don't actually have a mainsail anymore. Well, we have it, we just can't use it. And so it's probably going to be quite a long motor, using up heaps of diesel, which is not our preference, but it is what it is, and we'll get in and try and get it sorted there. And of course, knowing our luck, it is perfect sailing conditions, and we would be on a perfect beam reach all the way to our destination. We're sort of cutting through here to the south of Liros.
Oh, I haven't caught any fish, but there's worse things. Look how gorgeous this passage is.
That is Turkey. The gap between Turkey and Greece is only a couple of miles in parts, and so we're heading straight through the middle now. We have made it to Kos, which is the place we're going to check out of Greece, but we have a few hours until the immigration office closes and we have to get our passport stamped, so we're going to make the most of it. We have a few errands to run, and the town looks super cute. And we've got to get Al a new hat because he lost his at sea yesterday.
Yeah. I like that hat too.
Check out, and I think we'd better just have a bit of Euro with us. Of course, no Greek town is complete without its own ancient ruins. It's pretty amazing just to think of how old all these pieces are. And I really like it in the descriptions, they sort of have a bit of a guess at what they think it is, but they're not really sure. Our last night in Greece, so we treated ourselves to a dinner out, which was lovely. And now we're going to wander back through the town, and we have to go to the immigration and customs. We've already been to Port Police to check out. Now they've sent us to customs and then immigration, and then we have to get a photocopy and go back to Port Police. So 4 visits, and then we'll officially be checked out of the country. And they've said we can stay on our boat tonight here, but we have to go tomorrow morning. So there you go, that's the process. We understand that these are all the tourist boats, and every day they all head off, find a beautiful beach, let all of their passengers off to go for a swim, have some lunch, and then head back. Apparently it's a thing to do here. We're replacing the hat that went for a swim. How long do we think this one will last? It's like free. It's like getting free distressed jeans.
Is it too big? What an interesting little town. Quite historic, very touristy. Fun to walk around, but we have to check out and leave Greece.
So we went to immigration as instructed. The lady at the Port Police had said that immigration would take our transit log and they would be the customs, but the immigration people have sent us to another building where the customs people are. So we have to go back to a customs building, and then we have to take the photocopy of our crew list that has now been stamped back to the Port Police. So it's a 5-step process to check out in Kos. One of the frustrating things is that all the advice online is different. So there's about 7 different ways to do it, and every port is slightly different. And even this port can change on a day-to-day basis based on who you talk to. But it's all part of the fun, and we are very, very fortunate and lucky to be doing what we're doing. So I get to sit in the dinghy and wait, because I'm not sure if we actually can leave the dinghy here, while Elle runs up to get the last part of it done. Good luck. And let's hope it's open, because we had to wait till 7 to get immigration to stamp us out. We're not sure if customs is open this late.
I'm not sure the port authority lady liked my hat, but she smiled. Unlike the customs people, who I think are going to be charging overtime. It's a truly, truly stunning evening here in Kos. Beautiful cloud formations, gorgeous sunset. Behind me is an old fort, which makes a big part of the waterfront. It's been an interesting visit. One night. Primary purpose here was to check out of Greece. Always a bit stressful, quite bureaucratic, but it's still a really fun tourist town to have a look around, which we did. We had a nice dinner out, and now we've, well, done the opposite of batten down the hatches. Actually, the boat's a little squiffy at the moment, so we've opened everything up. We've got a nice breeze blowing through. Hopefully that's trapping some air and getting it all through and blowing out some of the cobwebs.
Who are they arguing with?
Each other about us.
What, police and customs?
No, the two customs
dude.
Oh yeah, they didn't see eye to eye over whether we should have to pay this or that.
I love it.